hustlers though. If you're not a hustler, you complaining, I'm tired when I get off work. I can't do that. I can't. Cool. It's not for you. That's cool. It's not for you. But for hustlers, you know, J Russ TV, my followers, we hustlers over here. That's what I'm doing. I've been working a part-time job for almost 3 years now, on top of the full-time job, on top of my side hustles, my business, multiple streams of income. You know what I mean? What's up, fam? Welcome back to J Russ TV. If you're new to my channel, hit that like, comment, subscribe button. J Russ TV, we cover all things business, investing, and sneakers. So get with me. As y'all can see by the title of this video, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. How to save your first 10 bands quick, fast. The quickest way. All I can do is just show y'all, tell y'all how I save my first 10 bands. You know what I mean? And I ain't even going to cap. You can look at my channel. I have my brokerage account that has about $2,000-$3,000 in it. I don't hold cash. I don't hold a lot of cash. That's another video for another day. But I don't hold a lot of cash. Most of my money is invested in the market. But just for the sake of showing that I got 10 bands, I got my Roth IRA right here. My Roth IRA right here. If y'all can see that. Y'all can see that right there. My Roth IRA. Give me a little thumbnail. But yeah, I got my Roth IRA right here. That's got about 8,500 in it. And then I got my other brokerage account on the channel. That's like 2-3 bands. That's 10 bands right there. I ain't gonna show the whole paper. I ain't about to show everything, but that's 8 bands. That's right there. Easy. So let's go ahead and get to the points as far as, and just so y'all not thinking I was capping on nothing too. Let me go ahead and scroll. I'm scrolling. Y'all can see right here, my buying power, all that. It's no cap. It's my Robinhood account, Roth IRA. This is one of my accounts. You know what I mean? That's pretty much 10 bands right there. But the first point is you need a job. That's the simplest thing. You need a job. You need income. You know, you can't save no money and you don't got no money coming in. You know what I mean? So you got to increase your skill set. So that's whether you going to college. If you're young, I'm 25 right now. You going to college, you learn a trade, or you go in a small service-based business, or you get a regular 9-to-5, you know, small job. You know what I mean? And I like to give examples, you know, related to my life to help you all. What I did to save my first 10,000, to help save my first 10,000 when I was, I saved my first 10 bands when I was 20 years old. I had my first 10 when I was 20 years old. I'm 25 right now. Now, what I was doing at the time, I was still living with my mother. That's another point I'm gonna get to. But I had a small service-based business. If you go back to my channel, look through all my old videos, I did sneaker buying, I resold sneakers, I resold Funko toys. I found a niche market, and that's how I saved. I was able to generate some income while living with my mother. So I used to sell, you know, Supreme. I used to sell Jordans. I used to sell Yeezys, all that type of stuff. I had a small service-based business, and what I would do is I would save 10 to 20% of all my profit would go to a savings account. So that goes into my second point. So the first point, you need a job, you need income, you need to increase your skill set. You know what I mean? Like I said, whether you go to college, trade school, any other type of things, you need to get a high income skill. Because it's like you can save on $50,000 a year, $30,000 a year. But you can save more if you're making $8,000 a year. If you're making $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year, you can save more. So it really depends on how you're doing that. Because say you're making $50,000 a year, times 20%, I advocate for 20%. That's 10,000 a year. You know what I mean? So if you're making 50, you should be able to save 10,000 a year after taxes, of course. You know, if you got a job, 401k, things like that, that's 10 bands right there. My second point is once you get you scale up and you get a job, you get an income, you start your small service-based business, you start making a little money, you put in 10 to 20% up every month, every paycheck. I was doing every paycheck, so every 2 weeks. You need to go on a 90-day run. A lot of people I see, they like the dude, Payroll Giovanni, shout out to him. I think it was him, but he was like the 90-day run. That's what I saw from him. And I was doing it back in the day. I didn't know I was doing it, but it's essentially where you don't spend no money, bro. You don't spend no money. You lock in for 90 days. That mean no partying, no going out to eat. You cooking at the crib. You know what I mean? You staying at the crib. You're not buying no shoes. You're not buying no designer. You're not buying no, you're not triggering on no girls, no dates, no nothing. Now they say, a lot of people say 90-day run. Me personally, I do 6 months to a year run. I did like 6 to 8 month run. I ain't do 90-day run. It depends how bad you want it at the end of the day. That's what really matters. It's all about how bad you want it. But I did 90-day run before, but me personally, I like to do 6 to 12 month run. Stay down a little longer, bro. You're gonna see better results, in my opinion. That's in my opinion. Third thing I did was I automated all my savings. So like I was telling y'all, with the 10 to 20% of every paycheck needs to be going into account. What I did personally, I use Ally Bank. If you're not familiar with them, they're an online banking system. And but I like them is because, one, they're not a physical bank, so I can't go and I can't take money out, you know, every time I had the chance. I was doing that and I didn't like it. I need to be more disciplined. I don't want to grab this money out. I want to keep it in there. So Ally Bank, they have a limit of how many transactions you can do a month. So at the time, I think I had maybe 3 or 5 transactions a month that I could pull the money out. You know, as you put more money in and you grow, they give you more transaction limits. But I think it was like 3 to 5 at the time. So it's like you pull out 2 times in a month. You only got one more time before they lock it and you can't take nothing out. So it's like that's what it takes to really save, to really stack your bread and save money, honestly. You know what I mean? That's what I did. That's all I can do. So yeah, recap, save. You got to save, tend to increase your income by any means necessary. Be a hustler. You gotta get the pay. Any money coming in, 10 to 20% needs to be going into a savings account. Automated every month. So you don't gotta do it manually, automatically come out. So the money that come into your bank account is all you have. You don't even miss it at that point. You're not even gonna miss the pay at that point because it's already coming out automatically. You're not even doing it manually. So you're not even gonna miss the money at that point. You need to delay the gratification. Stay down 90 days, 6 months, 12 months. I personally like 6 to 12. Really lock in, see what you're really made of. You feel me? That's what's really gonna make you to get that 10 bands. Now, of course, you might not hit the 10. My first time, I came short a little bit, but it's the practice and the discipline that matters. It's putting in those reps, building that muscle memory. You know what I mean? When you in the basketball, when you playing ball, when you hooping, you might be in the gym 7 days a week perfecting your craft. But when the game time come, you might not hit the game-winning shot, bro. You might come close. Maybe you want to hit 20 points. You might hit 10. You might hit half, but you got to keep practicing. You know what I mean? Like I said, don't increase your lifestyle. I didn't get no new car. You know, when I first got my first 9 to 5 employment job after I went to college, I had my small service-based business. I went to college, got my education, graduated, making a great salary. My first 6 to 8 months, I stayed in the crib. I stayed at my mom's house. Number one, I still drove the car that I was driving in high school. It's a little beat right now, but hey, it's saving me money. I don't got to pay no car note. The insurance is cheap. I limited my eating. You know what I mean? I limited my eating out the week. I ate at home. All I did was go to work. I went to my part-time job. That's my next point. Went to my part-time job and I came home. That was really it. I didn't even need no crib at the time, honestly. I was out the house most of the day. That's what I need to be doing. Y'all shouldn't even be home all day. Y'all need to be at work. You know what I mean? Grind and get into it. You feel me? Get into it. So yeah, I stayed home, drove the car, didn't really go out to eat that much. You know, I ate at home. I chilled, went out with the homies a little bit, but I was really focused on stacking. I said, you know, when you get when you graduate and you really start making, you know, some real money, I didn't want to just start building bad habits, instantly start spending. Woo. I said, nah, I'm gonna keep living like a college student, and I'm gonna just keep stacking, stay down. So I stayed down 6, 8, 9 months, and thank God I was stacking because one, a real estate opportunity came about, and I was able to buy my first property. I know this is kind of getting off track to the 10 bands, but I'm showing you, you got to save the money because you never know what opportunities might come. So a real estate opportunity came and I was able to invest into the property that I'm in now. This is my first crib. I'm going to put more details on the channel about this, but just trying to take it slow. But this is the crib. This is my own crib. I live by myself. You feel me? At 20, I bought this at 23. I bought this at 23 years old. I'm 25 right now. So I bought this at 23 years old. And it's because I stayed down. I followed these methods that I'm telling y'all right now. I saved my first 10 bands. I saved 10. And let's get to the last point. Now, this is for the hustlers only. This is for the hustlers only. Get another job. Get another job, bro. Get another part-time job. Start a side hustle. Put all that profit in savings. So, for example, what I do now related to my real life, I work a 9 to 5 right now. So once I get off at 5 o'clock, I go straight to my part-time job from 6 to 10 p.m. The part-time job, I save all that. All that money goes into investing and savings and paying off debt. I don't really live off that check. That's good game for y'all guys. But that's just for my hustlers, though. If you're not a hustler, you complaining, I'm tired when I get off work. I can't do that. I can't. Cool. It's not for you. That's cool. It's not for you. But for hustlers, J-Russ TV, my followers, we hustlers over here. That's what I'm doing. I've been working a part-time job for almost 3 years now, on top of the full-time job, on top of my side hustles, my business, multiple streams of income. You know what I mean? Now this is if you want to get to $10,000 faster. Me personally, I'm trying to get retirement. I'm trying to hit $1 million faster. You know what I mean? You can hit it fast, you can hit it medium, slow. You know what I mean? Depending on your work ethic. But me personally, I'm a hustler. I run it up. So that's all the points I have for y'all. Like I said, we can do a quick real recap. Get your job income, increase your skill set, and keep your expenses low. Save 20%. I suggest 20%. If you could do more, 20 to 50%, that's great. If you're living with your parents, live off less for the first year. Get that good foundation going, get your investments going, and then automate everything into an online bank account where you don't even see it. So you're not even fazed by it for real. You know what I mean? Delay gratification, no new car, no dates, no nothing. You lock in. We locked in, fool. We locked in. No dates, none of that stuff. And then don't all the small stuff add up. The food, the 20 here, the 30 here, all that add up. And like I said, for the hustlers, get you another part-time job. Scale your business up. You feel me? Put all that profit into the savings account. Before you know it, you're gonna hit 10 quick. You're gonna hit 10 quick. You know what I mean? And just to end this joint, 10,000 cash is good when you first starting. But once you hit that 10,000 cash, anything above that should be invested in the market. If you're not into investing, look up some of my past old videos. You know what I mean? I show y'all what I do. You know what I mean? We live in the 21st century, 2025. No excuses. There's so much internet, so many resources on the internet right now. But that's a quick game of how I saved my first 10,000 fast. I showed y'all the proof, man. And yeah, appreciate y'all tuning in. If y'all